So you're considering moving out here to the Destin area and you've got some questions. Well, we all do. So what we have been able to do is over the last couple of years, we compiled the most questions that we've received here on this team and our surrounding area to give you the answers of the most frequently asked questions here in the last year. So stick around. What's up, everybody? This is Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group right here in the Destin-Fort, Walton Beach area. This is your first time to our channel. We do tons and tons of videos about everything you need to know about our area. Now, as a military veteran of 14 years and now a military spouse, I've moved so many places. So many places. And every time I moved somewhere, there was always such a lack of information of where to move to and what to anticipate. That's why we created this channel for you. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Click that little bell so you're notified every single time we got a new video coming out. Now, honestly, we get tons of phone calls, emails, texts about people wanting to know what it's like to live, eat, work, sleep, play, drink, whatever here in the Destin-Fort, Walton Beach area. We absolutely love it. So if you are moving to this area, need some help, give us a call, text, email, heck, shoot us a little paper airplane. Whatever you need, we got your back when moving here to the Destin-Fort, Walton Beach area. So let's talk about Destin. Let's talk about the 13 most frequently asked questions here about the Destin area. So if you're new to the Destin area and you're just kind of curious of what this place is all about, well, it's not that big of an area with a population of about 13,702 from the last census that we had. The area that's actually located, if you look on a map, we're up there in the northwest corner and we're on the panhandle is what they call that. And Destin's located kind of in the middle between Pensacola and Panama City Beach, right there on the Gulf. So if you're looking at a map, there it is. Google Maps are your friend. So why do people typically move out this way? And it's because of the gorgeous beaches that are here. We've got that white sand, gorgeous beaches all around. They're not overdeveloped for the most part. It's not condo city like you're gonna see in South Florida. You've got a mask with forest on the other side. It's just really, really beautiful here and pretty relaxed. The weather here is wonderful. It's not overly just terribly hot all the time like it is in South Florida. We do get a little bit of a season change. Our winter is like 40 or 50 degrees, but you'll still see us bundled up because we have Florida skin. But the weather most of the time is beautiful up into the 80s. The humidity is a little bit higher than what you'd most see, so the hot feels a little bit hotter, the cold feels a little bit colder. It's weird how that works out. People also like to go here because of the world-class boating and fishing. Matter of fact, here in the Destin area, Regatta Bay has got one of the, or was rather featured on Boating Magazine as one of the best places to boat in the country. And of course, Destin has a great community. I can't explain or just emphasize this enough that our community is a great mix between Southern hospitality, which because we're right below Georgia and Alabama, and Florida people, which are just pretty relaxed in themselves. And this area is surrounded by 4 military installations. So a lot of people like myself that ended up retiring or getting out of the military ended up sticking around. And it brings a lot of diversity here and a lot of respect, and it's just hard to beat anywhere that you go around, if of course that's what you're looking for. Okay, so let's get into the questions. Number one was, where are the best beaches in Destin? Now, if you ask me, I think the best beaches are going to be in Fort Walton off of Okaloosa Island, but let's concentrate on Destin. First things first is head down to Henderson Beach, which is a state park. It's well maintained, got lots of parking, places to change, showers, all that stuff, campgrounds. Beautiful, beautiful place, and because people have to pay to get in there, it usually isn't so overcrowded either. So that's number one on the list. Another one to go down to is Noriega Point. Now this is by the Destin Harbor, the Harbor Walk by Crab Island, right over to the Destin Bridge if you look over there. It's kind of funny because a couple of years ago it wasn't like that. It was out there as a park, but it wasn't as developed because they had Hurricane Opal that washed through here almost 15, 20 years ago. When that happened, it blew a lot of that peninsula out. So they dredged everything and it ended up building it back out again, making these nice little kind of jetties inside of it so you can actually go swimming and enjoy it. It's gorgeous. The only thing that really sucks is the fact that the parking, there's not a lot of it to get there. But if you do get out there, just a wonderful place to go hang out. And one of the more popular places to go for the beach, it's free, is down there at James Lee Beach and the Crab Trap area. So if you were going down on Crystal Beach side, so obviously on the Gulf, you're going down that way and you saw the big Crab Trap restaurant. There's four pavilions. There's a good amount of parking in there, and that's where a lot of people like to go out. Free access to the beach. If you like to be around people, this is a good place to go. And Crab Trap's got some pretty good food. They got a little bar also that sits right on the little walk that they've got that way, so you can look out, have your favorite libation, and enjoy the beach. All right, number 2 is, what's the cost to buy a home in Destin? Well, we get that question a lot because we're realtors. Anyway, back in 2021, for that year, these are what it looked like in order to purchase a home in Destin. Your median home price, so the most concentration of the home prices in Destin, was about $517,000, and that's condos and single-family homes combined was about $517,000 to buy a single-family home. Now your high was all the way up to 6.1 mil, which of course was a golf front home and absolutely gorgeous. And then we have low all the way down to 117,500, which you probably would have had to pay cash in order to get that one. But that's kind of the price point for it. A lot of the areas here do use your FHA and VA financing. But one thing to realize too, that if you're trying to get in some of these affluent communities, if you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out for the top 5 best communities in Destin. But if you're looking to get in more of the affluent communities, we're talking about Kelly Plantation, Regatta Bay, Emerald Lakes, all those areas in the north kind of eastern area of Destin are all in CBRA zones, or COBRA zones as we call them, Coastal Barrier Resource Areas. Now the VA and FHA are not going to finance anything in there because it's labeled as that zone. Does that mean it's in a flood zone? Not necessarily. A lot of those different places are actually in a zone X, which is a minimal flood zone, but you're going to get higher insurance rates and some financing won't work out there. Just to give you that. Now, one other thing to pay attention to in Destin and all the areas surrounding is it's still very, very competitive. Even though the prices are climbing a little bit more, the competition is tough. So if you're going to come into this market looking to move into Destin, it doesn't matter if you're going into a condo, single family home, or you're looking to get into a townhome, it's pretty much all the same 95% of the time. Sometimes we get lucky. But you're usually competing with somebody else. So if a home's priced right and dressed right, it usually goes pretty quickly. So the best thing for you to do is to sit down with me or any of our agents here and talk about what that looks like and what to anticipate moving forward while purchasing a home. Those consultations are free. You got 30-45 minutes. You get live interaction with us via Zoom. All right, shameless plug aside, let's go ahead and move to number 3. What is the cost to rent here in Destin? Okay, so if you're looking to rent, most of the rents that we see here are single family homes. So think about that, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single family homes. So that means that our median price is going to be for that, which is typically around $2,300 per month. Now that can go as high as $5,500 per month for something really nice on the bay or the Gulf. And your lows, which are going to be some of your smaller studio apartments, can be as low as $950 per month. Okay, one thing about rentals too is it's very, very competitive. So things, again, just like when you're purchasing, if it's priced right and dressed right, it's going to go super, super quick. So you need to get on this and have this place set for you. You may even have to sign a lease sight unseen in order to get into these certain things. If you need a list of rental resources, go ahead, give us a call or a text. We'd be happy to text you or email you that information of the best places to get and to find rentals here. Okay, number 4, what is it like to purchase a Gulf front condo? Everybody wants a Gulf front condo. If you vacation down here and that's where you go, like that's awesome. You wake it up, you can smell the sea air, like, it's amazing. Okay, so if you are looking to invest down here in a Gulf front condo, we typically deal with 3 different types of investors. Number 1, somebody just going to get a second home. They're the only ones that are going to use it, and that's it. Number 2 is that you want to buy something for you and your family to go use once or twice a year and then rent it out the rest of the time. Number 3 is just that person that doesn't really care if it looks good or how it is, as long as the cash flow and the ROI is correct, so return on investment, then we're good to go. Right? So typically number 1 investors, you are going to have the same sort of process as purchasing a single family home. Not too much of an issue there, but you're still going to have that same sort of competition. You know what you're going to expect as far as payments for that, so not a big deal. Number 2 investors is the one that we typically get the most of. Now, if you're looking to rent it out half the time, I want you to know that with all the other fees, to include complete rental management fees, so you have it 100% taken care of, which in our area is usually somewhere between 20 to 25% of whatever the rental incomes. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but they're doing a lot. They're making sure that it's always filled, that your linen's always taken care of, the on-calls, their advertisements, all that stuff is all taken care of, right? So it's totally worth it. But what I want you to anticipate is that most of the time, if you're going to do that, you're going to come down during the hot season when everybody else wants to be down here. That typically you're about to break even, or you're going to be somewhere between $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 that you're going to have to pay for that condo per year out of your pocket. The rest will be supplemental from your rental income, but that's pretty much the cost that you're going to have. But don't worry, your appreciation coming through and the rise in rents, it's probably going to even itself out eventually, depending on how long that you're going to hang on to it. My number 3 investors just wanted to cash flow. Guys, gals, we're probably not going to find you something that is right there on the Gulf that's going to be cash flow positive. So we'll probably find something in there that is going to be off there or on the bay, but more than likely you're not going to find that Gulf Coast condo that's going to be that cash flow positive unless you find those unicorns out there where you get it for the right price. Not to say that we haven't made it happen before, but it's just not as common. Okay, so other things to anticipate, obviously beautiful views. When you purchase something here, all the furniture typically comes with it, so you don't have to refurnish anything. That's a cool thing about real estate here in Florida, that you can add personal property to real property. So that means that the condo can be sold with all the stuff in it, and that's part of the actual purchase. Now, you're going to have different types of management too. We talked about that 25%. You can also self-manage. You can use certain applications. The most popular out here are Airbnb and VRBO. You can check those out, airbnb.com, vrbo.com, to see what they have and different types of fees that they have in order for you to leverage that so you don't have to pay that 25% down. I do caution you that if you are going to do this and you're more than a 3-4 hour drive away, that it can get a little hectic and may not be worth the stress, but everybody's different. One last thing to point out too is that most of the time, if you are a number 2 investor, your ROI, your cash flow may be a little bit less than you'd want, but again, it's a cost that you do have here. If you want a good explanation of that, we do have some great presentations that we can do, just like if you were going to purchase. Another shameless plug, give us a call or text, and we'd happy to go ahead and set up an investor consult or strategy session with you. All right, number 5, what is the best food in town? All right, well, these are some of my favorites and some of our team favorites, so here we go. First one that we have for pizza, I love me some pizza and some delicious beers, all right, is Land Sharks. Land Sharks is right there off of Highway 98. It's a sports bar. The guy that owns it is a Green Bay Packers fan, and, you know, nobody's perfect. I'm a Vikings fan. But they have amazing pizza there, mainly because they've got this pizza called the Diablo pizza. So if you like spicy pizza, definitely check it out. I'm from New York. I'm picky with my pizza. That's some of the best spicy pizza I've ever had. For seafood, check out Beauchamp's. Beauchamp's is right there on the Gulf. Again, it's right on the main drag off of 98. Really, really nice place, built up, great service. Some of the best views that you're going to find, and I've got a lot of different things on this, but my favorite, and I had an argument with the rest of my staff here, but my favorite, so that's what we're going to go with, for the best view is going to be the back porch. Now, the back porch isn't right on the main drag there. It is actually just as you start to turn off towards where the track is, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. It's kind of tucked away, and it's really, really nice during the sunset. If you can get out there on the patio, watch the sun come down, that's our favorite place to go. For steak, McGuire's. And McGuire's is a big old Irish pub that they have there. If you've ever been in there, it's really unique because there's single dollar bills with stuff written on them all over the place. I don't know, there's got to be millions of dollars worth of dollar bills in there, but they're hanging all over the place. Best thing is their peppercorn steak. Again, it's kind of, if you like peppery food and spicy, oh, it's so good. They've got some of the best burgers in town, and definitely check out their Irish wakes if you partake in that sort of thing. You only need one, trust me. Okay, Mexican is Mahente. Love these guys. They just moved into Destin. They used to be a food truck out of Fort Walton. They got a little taquerita out there in Fort Walton, so they had their own store or their own taco shop right next to a store, and then they expanded out, and now we've got them out in Destin. By far some of the best that I've had in the area. All right, and for Italian is, and I'm probably saying this wrong, I always say it wrong, but Mimito's Ristorante Italiano. All right, this place is right downtown too, and it's a really, really good place. A lot of people have really said that they absolutely love it. It's the most authentic Italian that you're going to find in town. Okay, moving on, number 6. What time of year is the best weather in Destin? So what time of year should I be coming to visit? It's typically what I hear. Honestly, it's going to be sometime between the spring and the fall. The springtime's really nice because it's not overly crowded here. We got some spring breakers that start to filter in, and traffic isn't crazy. It isn't as busy as it normally is. As you get into right when school gets out all the way into the summer, 4th of July weekend's probably the most packed that you're going to see. And as we get into the hot months right before kids start to go back to school, that's where we start to see a ton of people coming in, relaxing a little bit before they get back into the fall. So those are usually the best time, the best weather. Don't have as much rain, and if it does rain, it's Florida. So just wait about 3 minutes and it'll be gone. All right. Next question, number 7, is the water always that emerald green color? Well, if you're curious why it's even emerald green, it's because the sun reflects off of the algae that's in the water and turns it into that emerald color. But is it that color year round? Unfortunately, no. Depending on the weather, depending on the sea conditions, it can get kind of cloudy and it gets a little dark. More in the wintertime we see that, but throughout the spring to the summer you see that. And I've lived here for several years, and lots of years now, and every time I go over that bridge at Destin, when the sun's coming down and you have that green emerald colored water everywhere, it's still like, oh my God, I can't believe I live here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. But it isn't there year round. All right, number 8, where can I find a job in Destin? So a lot of the big industry here is because of the military. There's 4 military bases around here, and a lot of them are associated military contractors doing all sorts of different jobs. So if you've got something like that, go on to usajobs.com, go on to Indeed, check out what's there, because there are shops that are set up in Destin or around the Destin area that you'd be able to go to. Now, the service industry is huge too, so if you're looking to come out and be a waiter, bartender, or any service related jobs. There are a ton out here. Most of the time they're pretty seasonal, but we typically get it year round around here. You'll make a good chunk of money, of course, between that spring and fall time. And of course, medical is always on demand around here. There isn't a huge medical infrastructure, but there definitely is a significant amount that people do move into here. And of course, don't forget, because of COVID, a lot of different jobs have allowed you to telework, which means that you can probably negotiate with your boss if you've been teleworking for the last year or two of going, hey, do I have to be in this geographic location? Can I get up and go somewhere else? And if you can, world's your oyster. All right, so number 9, where are the top attractions for families? So obviously the beaches. We already kind of talked about the best beaches, but the beaches are some of the best places to go for you and your family. For places to go, like Big Kahuna's is a water park, adventure park is what they call it, and you could definitely check those areas out. You've got the track, which go-karts and all sorts of stuff out there. The bowling at the Commons. You also have the Golfarium, which is actually technically in Okaloosa Island. You have the Harbor Walk, where you have zip lines. You've got some live music. The kids can get up on the rock wall. Heck, you can get up on the rock wall. They've got this one where it's like a free fall, but you're connected and it stops you right at the bottom. It's kind of crazy. You're not going to see me on that. But yes, lots of stuff to do for the family. All right, number 10, what are the best top things to do for adults? Crab Island. Oh, by far, Crab Island is one of the best places that you can go. Get a boat, take the water taxi out, get a kayak, rent out there, and paddle yourself out there. Beautiful place, tons of people, usually a little bit of a wild party, and it's got all different types of people just out there having a good time. Of course, you can always go bar hop down the Harbor Walk. It stretches all the way up to the Red Door where that Land Sharks Pizza is, where I started. I personally have done that plenty of times, especially when I was a younger military guy. But there's tons of places to go, different music, different atmospheres, whatever you want. Of course, parasailing, you want to do that. There's tons of fishing, deep sea fishing, fishing off the pier, scuba if that's your thing. You also have Club LA, so we do have some bands that come out here, and that's typically where you see them. And even if you're into country or you like metal music, all those different things are actually at Club LA. You just have to pay attention to who's in town. All right, number 11, where is the best fishing? Okay, so the best fishing is probably, if you want to go off a pier, Okaloosa Island Pier, which is not really in Destin, but it's right down the road, about 6 miles from the Destin Bridge. If you want to go from the shore, east past jetties are a good place to go. Just be careful of the rocks around there as you're walking around, because there are some little steep drop-offs. But if you want to get on a boat and get about 10 to 12 miles out, they got a 100-fathom curve that you can go out to. Lots of great fishing out there. And if you want to get really adventurous and go out to where all the big fish are, you'll want to go ahead and charter a boat out to the edge. You're not going to see me out there. All right, number 12, we're almost there. Is scuba diving any good in the Destin area? Now, this has been back and forth from some of my friends that have gone scuba diving. Most of the time, they're comparing it to going to the Mediterranean or something like that. And obviously, it's just not going to be that good in comparison to. But there are some other places that you can go. The Miss Lewis Wreck, which is down what they call Wreck Alley. That's a good place that you can go out, and it's got artificial reefs out there that they put in. There's a wreck boat and stuff down there that you can go check out. You'll see a lot of people fishing there too, but there are some pretty good places that you can go. And of course, even if you want to stay right out in the jetties, there's tons of sea life down there for you to check out. It's just gorgeous. Last but not least, 13. How bad is the traffic in Destin? Well, it's bad. We love our tourists. It's one of the big things that push the industry here in Destin. But anytime between the spring all the way until the fall, it can be rough. Google or Waze or any one of those that you can time the traffic, I could give you this is how long it could be, but more honestly, it's probably going to be quite a bit more. So definitely plan it out there. Traffic can get tough, mainly down by the Harbor Walk in that main area. They are trying to widen it, and they've done a pretty good job so far to get from where the Destin Airport is all the way out to the Destin Commons, where that big outdoor mall is. They've actually turned it into a 6-lane, so it isn't so bad anymore, but you're still going to get that bottleneck downtown until they figure out something else with it. Worst time to come in for traffic is right around that 4th of July weekend, so plan accordingly. Well, that's all I have for you for the 13 most frequently asked questions in Destin answered. So if you had any questions about anything I mentioned here, go ahead and leave it here in the comments below. And of course, if you have something else you want to say or add to what I put in here, please again, leave them here in the comments below. And if you are moving here, got some questions, need some help, give us a call, text, email, or find us on social media. Whatever you need to do, we got your back when moving here to the Destin area. But again, I'm Tim Whittemore with the Whittemore Group here with eXp Realty, and we'll see you in our next video.